Hari Om. Let's start with the prayer. Om Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Amadeva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Rudeva Deva. Hari Om. We are looking at how the moksha can happen or how the bondage can be relieved. So, Konama bandhaha katamasya agataha katam pratisthasya katam vimokshaha. How this bondage came, how did it get established, and how we can remove the bondage. So the solution for removing the bondage, because the bondage is due to avidya. Avidya is taking what I am not as I am, because I do not know who I am. So therefore the fundamental cause or mula avidya, or the very fundamental ignorance of my own self, is the cause for taking myself as something other than myself. Whether I believe it or not, this is the fact that I take myself as I am the body, I am the mind, and I am the intellect. I am a subject, and body, mind, intellect are objects of my knowledge. And therefore, I cannot be the objects, because I am a seer and that's a seen. And a seer is different from a seen. So when I take myself as I am this, and which is essence of the ahankara or ego, there is obviously a confusion, and that is due to avidya. Avidya is manifesting in three phases. One is agrahanam, then the second is samsayam, and third one is viparita pratyayam. These are the three expressions of avidya. One is agrahanam, is I do not know, and I do not know who I am, or I do not know this is a robe. So that is the lack of knowledge of the vastu or the truth is the problem, and I do not keep quiet with that, because I do see some aspects of it but not complete aspect of it. That means I have a semi-knowledge, and that's the problem. If it's completely ignorance, then there is no problem. Like a stone doesn't have to sit and do meditation, or cannot do meditation also. But there is a problem that I am aware of myself to some degree. At the same time, I am not aware of myself as myself and in truth, but I am aware of myself as existent and conscious entity, but not Ananda Swarupam or Ananta Swarupam. So this agrahanam is coming from because of partial ignorance, and that is what is the one aspect of avidya. The second aspect of it is samshayam. Samshayam is the doubt. Doubt comes when I have a debate. It can be this, at the same time it's not that. So from the point of our analysis, I am looking for happiness, and logic says that happiness is not outside, and cup of coffee may bring me happiness, but happiness is not in the cup of coffee. God, if it is in the cup of coffee, it should give happiness to everybody. But some people don't like coffee, some people want something else for them to be happy. So happiness is not in the outside object, but I think it is there, so I am going after objects. So every time I am pursuing, there is a doubt at the same time, it's not there, at the same time there, I am going after that. This is called samshayam. And also samshayam is, even when the scripture says that you are complete by yourself, you don't need to depend on anything for your happiness, still doubtful, because I am still going after. If I am happy, why am I going after things? And someone asks, if I am already happy, why I am so miserable right now? So I cannot keep crying one side and say I am happy. So I had to understand, and this is because of samsaya. Even when the pramana, that is Vedanta Vichara, tells you that you are complete by yourself and you are infinite, and there is always a doubt, say, how can I be infinite? How can I be this? How can I be carpet? How can I be garbage? How can I be? All those questions come, and that's because of the lack of understanding and lack of clear understanding, and therefore doubts come into picture. Therefore, the viveka is required to eliminate the first agrahanam, not able to understand myself what I am. I need a viveka, and I need a constant study of the scriptures until I am completely thoroughly convinced of the nature. Why scriptures? Scripture is a total knowledge. It includes both the subject and object. The objective sciences will never be able to analyze the subject because it's not an object. Therefore, objective sciences have no tools to analyze it, and they cannot either deny or accept it. And therefore, the objective scientist may say verbally that this is all belief system, but he has no basis even to understand himself or even understand the subtler things like mind or a thought and so on, because the tools that he have are not amenable for it. He can objectify those. When the mind is thinking, there may have alpha waves or beta waves, so those can be objective, but every wave has no translation in terms of what thought it is. So therefore he has no way of jumping from a wave to a thought and understanding of how knowledge takes place. This is essentially beyond the realm of the objective sciences. I can theorize it based on the observations, but it remains a theory, but it can never be proved because the proving tools are not amenable for reaching in that. Therefore, this samshayam is doubt about Vedanta also. Therefore, scripture says srotavyaha, after with the viveka to develop, and mantavyaha, contemplate on the teaching until there are no more doubts about the nature of the knowledge or the nature of the reality. And the third aspect of the avidya is viparita prachayam, means projecting something other than that comes from the vikshepa sakti of the avidya. So avidya itself does not have vikshepa, but that which is provided by, converted as though by the presence of the consciousness, it cannot but project. Even though the mind cannot keep quiet, it wants to project something other than what it is. So atasmin tad buddhihi, something other than what it is what is called adhyasa by Shankara. So these three aspects are expressions of avidya, and the things we know from the expressions, we have to infer that I do not know who I am. That's why I'm searching for myself, and I'm searching for myself all over the world, because I'm looking for happiness. Happiness is not out there, and all that things come into picture. Now, this is avidya at the vyashti level. So avidya at the samashti level, that is the total. Internet got cut off. Let's start again. We were discussing about the lack of understanding of my own self, not knowing myself. I take myself, I am the body, mind, intellect, and the body, mind, intellect being limited, and myself I am infinite. I cannot accept the limitations of the body, mind, intellect as my limitations, even though I identify myself intensely and take the limitations of the body, mind, intellect. So I want to solve a problem. Problem is that I appear to be limited, and I want to become infinite or unlimited. Or in principle, I want to be happy. I want to be not just happy, I want to be eternally happy. And the eternal happiness is due to only when I find myself I am full. That means I don't need anything more, I am already happy. That comes only when I am infinite, because infinite is only fullness. Therefore, if I do not know that I am already full and I am trying to solve a problem taking the limitations of the body, mind, and intellect as my limitations, I perform an action, and with an attitude that I want to gain something, and in the process the results are conducive to my vasanas, then I like it. If they're not conducive, then I don't like it. So therefore, likes and dislikes propel me to act in some way, and that's what is essentially becomes a karma, or it leaves an impression. So whenever I perform an action, it leaves an impression which is called vasanas. And vasanas will again propel me to act more, and again I get more vasanas. And this we went through the sanchita karma. The total karma becomes a cause for my own creation. Not only it is cause for my own creation, it's a contributing factor for the total creation, because I am part of the samashti vasanas. My vasanas will join together with your vasanas and his vasanas and her vasanas, all put together becomes a total vasanas, and that's what we call samashti vasanas. That is called total karma. And Krishna said in that 8th chapter, karma is the cause for the creation. It's both at the global level or macro level, and even at the micro level. At my level, my karma is responsible for my body, mind and intellect, and for me to be born in a particular environment that can be conducive to exhaust my own vasanas along with the samashti vasanas. So my vasanas, my parents' vasanas, my sibling vasanas, and all those to whom I am associated with, all those becomes an important contributing factors, and that's responsible for my own environment that I am creating. So the samashti vasanas become important in terms of the total wise. So your vasanas and his vasanas and all that becomes the cause for the creation. Essentially, samashti vasanas is due to samashti karma, and samashti karma came into picture because of the samashti avidya. So therefore, not only I am talking about the individual avidya, the vyashti avidya, vyashti is my avidya or your avidya at an individual level, but the total level is called samashti avidya, and that is contributing to samashti karma, and that's contributing to the total creation. So now we are looking at the avidya from the total point. From the total point, who has the total avidya? Now we have to bring in a factor or Ishvara. So Brahman doesn't have any of these, because even though Brahman is locus for everything, because there cannot be anything other than Brahman, yet Brahman does not have anything, because Brahman is indivisible and it is nityam and unchangeable, and therefore changing vasanas cannot belong to the Brahman. So therefore, at the creation level, we are coming to a different level of reality, which is called transactional reality or vyavaharika satyam. So the whole discussion of the jnanam, ajnanam, jiva, ishvara, jagat, all are at the transactional level only. From the point of waking state, from the point of, if you go to dream state, same analogy works, where there is a Ishvara and there is a Jiva and there is a Jagat at the Pratibhasika level, at the level of my Sukshma Sariram. That means internally I am projecting with my mind, the creating all those things. Now we look at this parallelism a little bit to understand what is the role of Ishvara. Ishvara, he said, is Parameshvara Shakti. Maya becomes his Shakti. So what exactly Maya? Maya is that Shakti from which he converts the actions into the result. That's how we define. But actions belong to essentially part of Maya. In that Maya, we are talking about three aspects: avidya and the tamasic aspect, then the rajasic aspect, then the sattvic aspect. The Prakriti is same as Maya. Maya is Trigunatmikam, and Trigunatmikam as you have three gunas. One is the Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna and Tamo Guna. And Tamo Guna is aspect of avidya. That's what is essentially covers the truth and causes me not knowing who I am. From the point of Ishvara, we cannot say he has avidya, even though total vasanas are Maya. So now we have to define Ishvara. So Ishvara in this Avarana Shakti is at the lowest level, in fact almost suppressed by the Vikshepa Shakti and also by the Jnana Shakti. In fact, Vikshepa Shakti also comes into picture when he wants to create it. So now he is a Mayavi, that means wielder of Maya. So he does not have this Avarana aspect of is not there, that is Tamas aspect of not there. It's only Rajas and the Satvik. And Satvik is predominant because we call him Sarvajnaha and Sarvashaktiman, and is omniscient. And whereas I am local guy who doesn't even know how to spell omnisciency. So the problem is that there is a Ishvara is different from a Jiva, and Jiva avidya will not affect not only Jiva avidya, total avidya, which is called Samashti avidya, even though Ishvara is a presiding deity of all that, does not affect Ishvara. So Ishvara becomes this Avarana Shakti, that which covers the truth is completely not there. Therefore only the Vikshepa Shakti and the Jnana Shakti will be manifesting depending upon whether he wants to create it or he wants to have a knowledge of it. So he is Sarvajnaha. So he has the knowledge of everything, therefore without that he cannot create. So everything that is available, both the Aparavidya and Paravidya, both are known by Ishvara. That means he is a Jnani. So he is not a Samsari, whereas the Jiva is not knowing himself, but there is a projection that I am different from what I am, and therefore I take myself only limited, and therefore I suffer the consequence of identification with the limitations of my body, mind and intellect. So these are all very systematic, and each concept is precisely and in total everything has to fit in. That's called Tattu Samanmayad. It is self-consistent principle is applied all the way through. So when we come to the total avidya, that is Samashti avidya, and now looking at the Ishvara point, Ishvara does not have the Avarana aspect of it. So no? Got that? Okay. The internet got stopped again. So we are discussing about the Ishvara. So Ishvara from the point of total avidya, which is cause for the total karma, and that becomes a part of the Maya. So Maya in the sense of Ishvara, we don't call it avidya there. We call it only the Avarana Shakti is completely suppressed, and therefore it's only the Rajasic and the Sattvic natures are predominant. In fact, Sattvic nature is completely predominant, and next level is only Rajasic, and comes the Tamasic level. So from the point of Ishvara, he can invoke Avarana if he wants it. Therefore he is Antaryami. We'll go into that details a little bit. But here at the Ishvara level, he does not have the avidya, but he can use the Vikshepa Shakti, a projecting power, and that he creates the whole world. But contribution of the projecting power comes essentially from each jiva contributing to it, because it's my karma that is part of the Sanchita karma, and your part of the Samashti karma, your part contributing to your karma. Like all jivas put together, the total Samashti vasanas are responsible for the creation. Therefore, without me contributing, Ishvara cannot create anything. So Jiva itself is essentially contributing for the creation. So Ishvara cannot create anything at his whims and fancies. He uses whatever the vasanas are required, and therefore creates according to or to fulfill those vasanas, and he has the power to do it because he has a Jnana Shakti also. So he knows what it is, he knows exactly where I should be born, not only from my point of vasanas and the point of my parents, from my point of siblings. So he looks at all that together and put it in a form so that everybody's vasanas getting exhausted simultaneously. This is the all programming itself is a tremendous, because we are talking about the whole lokas of the whole universe here, not only this world but 14 worlds above and 14 worlds below. All that is implied in the Sarvajñatvam. So he is omniscient, and therefore why he can create, and that soul not only he creates, we come back, he is also Antaryami. That means he is inside controller also. Not only he just creates and leaves, but he is controlling continuously, and this aspect we go into more details in the next talk. This will stop and with a prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.